Welcome. My name is Dina Jensen, and I'd like to share with you a low lunge sun salutation. So, a salutation in yoga, and the sun salutation, is a way of putting certain poses together and then layering breath with each pose. So, if you're new to yoga, the best thing to do is to learn the movements first and then work on the breath. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of practice, but eventually it will come together. So this salutation is really nice for anyone who is just beginning yoga, anybody who may have some wrist preconditions. It's also really nice if you want to use this as a warm-up for really any level of student. So what I'd like to do is take you through the first round of this low lunge sun salutation without cueing any kind of breath, so you can learn the movements. And then the second round will have breath that is layered with each of the movements for you to practice once you're familiar with the low lunge sun salutation. This is a flow style of yoga, sometimes called vinyasa, which is Sanskrit. And that means it puts poses in a special place, in a special way, a sequence. And then it puts the breath with the poses in a special way. So I hope that you enjoy this flow. The only thing that you might need, you don't even really need a yoga mat, but it can help if you have a yoga mat to just orient you. You should do this with bare feet, ideally. We'll be doing some kneeling, so you might have a blanket a little bit behind you when we start the flow, if you have sensitive knees. And if you know that touching the ground is hard, because for most people, you don't touch the ground, then you can use, if you happen to have yoga blocks at home, you can use yoga blocks. And some people just use anything that they can find around the house to touch. You can also just put your hands on your body as you go through the flow. All right, so the first round, I'll start with blocks. And just so you know, we're going up and down, and then we're going to go back and forth on the mat. So I have a really big mat, but for you, if you have a regular yoga mat, then you should stand up towards the very top of your yoga mat, towards that very short end of the yoga mat. And put your blocks down if you're using them. In the sun salutation, we go up and down and back and forth on the mat. And you step back with one foot at the beginning. Usually it's the right foot. And then you step, when you're coming out of the salute, you step forward with that same foot, with the right foot. So you do some poses in one direction, you get lower on the mat, and then you reverse and to come back to where you started. So you'll see as we go through that. Feel free to watch this at the beginning so that you can get a sense of what's happening. So we start in yoga in mountain pose, and this is a foundational standing pose where with bare feet, you can stand at the top of your mat, your knees, your feet pointed straight forward, and your feet a comfortable distance apart, usually about the distance of your hips. And then you have a moment where you feel your grounding in your feet, always in yoga. That's why we do this barefoot. And one nice way to do that is to lift your toes up off of the ground, spread them, and then put them back down to have a sense of your ground. And then we'll develop the awareness of the legs to your hips. And your hips are right above your ankles. And then an awareness of the spine lifting tall out of your hips. Your shoulders right on top of your hips. And then your head right on top of the spine. Shoulders are relaxed. Your palms can face into the body or forward. And just have a moment here in this tall mountain pose. Strong and balanced pose. This is the first pose of sun salutation. The next thing we do is bring the hands in front of your heart, palms together. This is Anjali Mudra. And then we reach the arms out to the side with your palms up and overhead, extended mountain pose. Bring your hands back together and then bend at your hip creases as you come forward. A lot of you will want to bend the knees a little bit because you want your spine to be nice and tall And then lower your hands down, lower your head down. Your hands might be on blocks. They might be on your body. Now we're going to step a foot back. So step that right foot all the way back over the blanket and then put the right knee down. And then you're going to lift the arms up and overhead. This is called the crescent lunge. Place your hands back down. You can put them on the blocks or you can put them on the ground and step the front foot back. And we'll come to a pose called the table pose. So your hands, your wrists are under your shoulders and your fingers are spread wide. Your knees are under your hips. Your toes can point back or be curled under. And then we'll begin with the cow pose, where you lift the chest forward and up and let the tailbone lift up. And then reverse that movement by rounding the spine up to the ceiling and letting your head lower. Come back to your table. And we're going to do the puppy dog pose. Puppy dog walks your hands forward of the mat. And then you pull your hips away from your hands. You lower your head down on the mat. You'll have a few breaths here. And then work your way back up to your table with your hands underneath your shoulders. And we're going to be stepping forward. So for a lot of people, hands on blocks is nice. Or as you step forward, you can just move your hand away as you step that right foot forward. So we're still on the right side. You step the right foot forward with the heel underneath the front knee and you lift the arms. That will happen on a breath after you learn this. And then we're going to touch the ground or the blocks and step forward as you lower the head. We call this the forward bend. That will all happen eventually with a breath. And then feel your feet under you as you lift your arms to the side, lift up through the chest, and stand all the way back up where we started. And then you place your hands in front of your heart. Okay, so we'll go through the second side now, the left side. And you can make your decisions about what you're doing with blocks or without blocks. Okay, so this time around, I'm not going to use the blocks. I'm going to move the blanket out of my way, but you do what supports you the best. Okay, find your feet, your legs, feel them, feel your hips, your shoulders. Just be aware. Have your head on top of your spine. Be aware. Take a nice breath. Feel breath in and out through the nose. That's how we breathe in yoga. Mountain pose. This is our first pose. Second part of the pose is to place your hands in your heart. The next part is to sweep the arms out to the side and overhead, extended mountain. Then we will forward bend. You bend at your hip creases with your spine long, knees bent if that would help you as you lower the head. We're on the left side now, so step the left foot all the way back, put the left knee down, and lift your arms up. That will happen with one breath when you learn this. Touch the ground again, step back into table, and come into your cow, chest forward and up. And then back into your cat pose. Back through table, hands forward, ground through your fingers, your fingertips especially, and then pull your hips straight back as you lower the head. The arms are straight, the elbows are straight, the elbows are lifted off the ground, your spine is long. And then slowly come back up to table. Remember, we're still on the left side, so left foot steps forward. Lift the arms up. Touch the ground again as you step forward with the back foot and lower the head. And then lift the arms out to the side as you stand all the way back up. And then hands at Anjali. Okay, so now I'll take you through all of the breath for this flow. So the breath, before I go through it, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me on the side this time around. So the breath is, I like to start with a few breaths in mountain pose, so I'll cue you through that. There'll be an exhale at Anjali Mudra. There'll be an inhale with the arms up, which is always what we do in yoga. The exhale will forward bend you. The inhale is going to step you into crescent lunge. The exhale into table. The inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. We'll walk our hands forward on an inhale. We'll pull back on an exhale to your puppy dog, and then we're going to reverse everything with the breath. Okay, so that's just to give you a sense. All right, so you come to the front of your mat, and I'm going to guide you through this, and you can see me from the side. Begin in mountain pose. Feel your feet under you. Lift the toes, spread them, place them back down, and feel this nice grounding of your whole foot. You can have a little bit of pressure down and out with your feet. And just notice the pillars of support of your legs, these big bones. And then notice your hips. So the middle of your hip is in line with the middle of your ankle. You can see that nicely from my side view. And the rib cage and shoulders right on top of your hips. So middle of shoulder, middle of hip, middle of ankle. And then the head is right on top of the spine. So your ear, your shoulder, your hip, and your ankle, all in a straight line. And that's your mountain pose. Palms are in or forward. And we're going to take a breath here. So please breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Another breath in. And now on your exhale, we'll move, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, arms out and up, extended mountain. Exhale, bend at your hips as you lower all the way down. And then right foot back on an inhale, knee down, arms up. That's one breath. Exhale as you touch the ground and step into table. Inhale, chest forward and up, cow pose. Exhale, round the spine to the ceiling, cat pose, sorry. Come back to table, hands forward, breathe in. And on an exhale, pull the hips back and lower the head down. We'll hold here for a few breaths. So you can see that my hips are over my knees. My arms are lifted. My hands are grounded. My head is on something. For me, it's the floor. For you, it might be a block or a pillow. Okay, and then slowly make your way back to table. And you could have your hands on blocks this whole time. I'm going to curl my toes under. And we're going to be stepping the right foot forward. And that will be a breath in as we step forward, arms up. So ready, get ready. Inhale, right foot forward, arms up. Exhale, hands down, step the left foot forward, lower the head. And then inhale, arms out to the side, come all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, forward bend, nice long spine. Touch something as you lower down. We're on the left side. Inhale, step the left foot back, knee down, arms up. Exhale, touch the ground as you step into table. Inhale, chest forward and up, cow. Exhale, spine to the ceiling, cat. Inhale, walk the hands forward, and then exhale, pull the hips back. You could also be in downward dog if you're somebody that knows that pose instead of puppy dog. And breathe. Catch your breath. Okay, find your way back to your table. We're on that left side. So on an inhale, left foot forward, arms up. On your exhale, touch the ground, step forward, head down. Inhale, arms out and up. And exhale, hands at Anjali Mudra. Just relax your arms to your side. Have a moment of sensation where you can just notice the effects of that flow. So I hope you found this instruction useful and that you find a way to incorporate the low lunge salutation into your practice. Thanks for watching.